Hey boyos, daily check-in with John V. July 24th, 2025. Not much to say as usual, not much is really new in my life. I'm looking a bit better. My face is a little beat up and scabbed up from me, nervously picking at myself. And, in a few days, once I get a beard trim again for the month, it'll make my face look a lot leaner than it is. But I'm very happy with the walking, how the walking is going. Um, I estimate I'm walking about 20,000 steps a day. So that's really good. That's really really good for weight loss, right? I'd like to walk even more than that, but I don't want my life to revolve around walking. So 20,000 steps a day should be sufficient, and it should really rapidly help me reach my goal weight of 165. Now I know when I get closer to my goal weight, it's the weight loss is going to slow down the closer I get to my goal weight of 165. But I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy the way things are going. I weigh myself. I don't weigh myself until the 14th. That's when my next blood work appointment is, and I always weigh myself at my blood work appointment. The last one on the 18th, it was only like 2 pounds I lost. Um, but I'm expecting this time on the 14th, it's going to be a lot better than that. A lot better. I'm really cutting down on the calories too. I'm trying to get under 2,000 calories a day, plus 20,000 steps, and at a body weight of like 230, the weight's just going to fall off, right? And my typical go to order at the coffee shop is an iced coffee with no sweetener, just the cream. And I put in a 0 calorie sweetener instead, Splenda. And I get like 3 of those every day. And that's not much calories. It's like, it might be for 3 of them like 300 calories. So that's nothing, right? I do have to keep a little better eye on my protein because I find that I mostly will eat fruit and the occasional piece of garbage like a muffin or something like that, or a hot dog or a sandwich. And I should be consuming like a couple scoops of protein powder every day or more. Um, I want to start lifting again too, on top of the 20,000 steps a day. Um, but all in good time, right? It's not, I'm just right now lifting occasionally just to maintain what I have a little bit in my upper body, like, some bench pressing, some curls, some chin ups and bent rows, incline bench press, and that's about it. Some side lateral raises, nothing crazy. I'll get more to the lifting once I get closer to my goal body weight. But I keep saying that in all my videos, but we'll see. Um, I'm still waiting to hear back about the disability tax credit. They're backlogged. They're understaffed. They told me so. They're way behind on the applications. It's been like 3 months now, and it was only supposed to take 2 months, and I still haven't heard anything back from them other than when I, sent a message to their customer service, and they said we're sorry, we're understaffed. Give it another 6 weeks. So, it sucks. I want to preferably have it done this year because they go back 10 years retroactive and credit you back what you had paid in. And if it waits till next year, that's a year lost, right? That's a year lost. I don't want that to happen. And I have plans for some of that money. I'll be paying off my credit card debt. I have a credit card debt of like $2,500. It's nothing serious, nothing major. $2,500 debt is nothing, right? Some people are in debt by 250K, right? And if I was in debt like that, I'd have no way of crawling out of that fucking hole. I'd be stuck there. I'd be in hell. But aside from paying off the credit card debt, I want to buy a wig, a nice wig. I'm thinking something in the $1,000 to $1,200 range, and I can take a trip to Halifax. They have a few wig shops, and buy a nice wig when I get my payout. Because I figure once I lose the weight and get a nice wig, that's 80%, 80 to 85% of the work right there. And then some other small things like, maintain a good beard, keep it trimmed regularly by the barber, keep it oiled up, and practice good skincare on my face. A little bit of scabbing I have from picking at myself. I have to do something about that. My teeth aren't bad, but they're not great, and I got to start brushing regularly. Right now I'm not worried about brushing all the time. It's when I get closer to my goal body weight, I'll be keeping up with the brushing better. And I know a lot of you boys think I'm a dirty bastard that doesn't shower, and I shower quite regularly, twice a week. There's no need for more than that. I mean, I get pretty sweaty on my walks because it's hot as fuck usually, but it's just sweat, right? It's not like it's like horse manure all over me or anything like that. Like I'm not working in a fucking barn shoveling pig shit, so it's not a big deal, right? And when you're fat and ugly, it's expected that you smell bad anyway, right? You know, people that are in shape, you can still smell bad, and people will assume that you're clean just because you're good looking. That was the case with me when I was a lot thinner. I'd go a month without showering, and I'd see what people would write about me when I'd go to like job interviews or a doctor's appointment or something, and they would always put down things that I was like clean cut, um, um, well groomed, stuff like that. And I'm like, well groomed, clean cut, me? I was a dirty fucking bastard, like, but that's what they would put down because I seen my doctor's reports because for the past ever since I was like 18 because I had to get them for the disability tax credit and send them in, and I took a look at them. And back when I was like 18, I seen what one of the doctors had wrote, and they put down that it was the first time meeting me, and they put down that I was very well groomed and in good shape. And okay. And I remember I went to apply for a job once, and I gave them my resume, and they wrote on it, this was when I was 20, they wrote on it that I was clean cut and looks able. So, even if you're a dirty bastard, if you're good looking, it's overlooked. It's easily overlooked. Like, the most important thing in life really is to be attractive. That's what it seems to be. I'm looking a lot better too. I'm still massively overweight, but I look a hell of a lot better than I did 2 months ago, right? And it's only going to get better with all the walking that I'm doing. I may even increase it to 4 or 5 hours. We'll see. We will see. I might start doing a marathon session once in a while where I'll walk like 6 hours in a day or something. Like take a trip all the way around fucking the next town. Because I can take a walk to the mall, which is 45 minutes from here. Keep going, and till I reach the road that goes back in towards my direction of where I live. And that would be a very, very lengthy walk. I'm not sure how long it would be, but I would assume it would be like a 5 hour walk, maybe. It would be quite a lengthy walk, and it would be nice to do that once in a while. I know just walking a half an hour at a time is difficult for me because I'm so overweight, right? I know a lot of you boys, you'll exaggerate it and exaggerate it like I'm like 600 pounds or something. But I go to a store like Walmart, and I mug most of the people there. Like the people there I see, most of the men, they're like, they look to be 300 plus pounds with messed up hair, wearing a t-shirt with something cringe written on the front of it. Um, Usually have stains on their clothing. Um, Looks like they just got out of bed, and looks like they're on welfare. And then I see their wife or girlfriend, and she's 50 pounds heavier than he is, yet she's 6 inches shorter. And that's the typical demographic of this area: poor, fat, ugly people, right? And I mog most of them. I go to Walmart and I mog 80% of the shoppers. And that's absolutely fucking pathetic. The people that I don't mog are like the young people, the teenagers, or the people that are fresh out of high school. They're almost always in really good shape. I'll see like a car full of sleuths pull up into Walmart and get out, and they all look really good. And I'm guessing they're like 18 years old, 19 years old, and they all look really good. Or I'll see some young guys in the same age range, and they all look really good. Typically, the guys that are my age or 30 plus, they look like shit. same as the women. Occasionally, I'll see somebody in my age range that looks to be in relatively good shape. And by relatively good shape, I mean they're a little smaller than me and thinner and a little more muscular than me, and that's it. I very rarely see at Walmart people that are not young people that are actually in really prime shape. I very rarely see that. I mean, I go to the grocery store. Um, Usually, every few times I'll go, I'll see a really buff guy, usually a roid head, and sometimes I'll just see a really muscular guy that looks like he doesn't take roids. But aside from them, I'll see some thin people, but the main demographic in this area seems to be really overweight, ugly welfare bums that look like they sleep all morning until the afternoon and don't bother changing their clothes when they get stains on them. And it's kind of pathetic, really. It's kind of pathetic when a morbidly obese man, a middle aged, balding, morbidly obese man, can go to Walmart and mog 80% of the shoppers. That's the sad reality of it. And, once I get down to my goal weight and get a wig, practice a few other self care things like skincare, proper grooming of my wig, or proper grooming of my beard, you know, I'm going to look amazing. I'm going to mog probably 99% of people that are at Walmart when I go there, and that's pathetic. A middle-aged man, a middle-aged fucking man, right? Um, but yeah, I'm still rambling. We're at a 12-minute video so far. We'll keep going a little more. I know you boyos don't usually watch these whole things. I appreciate it if you watch the whole thing. I really do. But the majority of my the majority of my traffic on my videos is from the MISC. Like literally 90% of the traffic is from the MISC. The other 10% is from people doing searches in YouTube and stuff. And it's sad, and I went over this before, but if I edited my videos, used higher quality recording equipment like a better webcam, better microphone and headset, like a lighting setup, and if I wasn't so overweight and bad looking, if I changed those factors and plus took a little bit of better care of my channel with like tags and stuff to have my videos found easier when people do a search. If I change those factors, I could probably have a decent channel, right? But I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it right now. Literally, when I make these videos and finish recording, it takes me all of 2 minutes to do what I need to do to post the video, post it on a few forums, say a couple things, and that's it. So there's literally hardly any effort going into these videos, so obviously there's going to be very little traffic on the videos, right? Because it's not much effort. And but yeah, I'm smoking a fuck ton. I smoke a fuck ton of cigarettes now. Every time I go for my walk and get to the coffee shop, get my coffee, I'll sit outside and smoke 4 or 5 cigarettes while drinking my coffee. And then as soon as I get home, a half an hour later from the walk home, I'll sit outside and smoke usually 2 cigarettes. And in between the walking while I'm at home, every 20 to 30 minutes, I'll go outside and smoke 2 cigarettes, right? I have a very, very, very severe addiction to nicotine. And that's not going to change, right? When I get a bit older and I feel like it's really affecting my health, I may look into quitting again. But right now, I feel that smoking isn't affecting me that negatively, right? And I still somewhat have youth on my side. 41 is not that old, right? If I was like a 60-year-old man with health problems like I do, then the smoking would probably affect me more negatively. But as it is, I think I'm in pretty good health, all things considered, with my health problems, my obesity, the amount I smoke. My health is pretty good, I think. I bounced back from surgery, the surgery I had almost 4 years ago. I bounced back from that really well, really fucking well. Um, it's as if I didn't even have the surgery. There's no lasting negative effects from the surgery or what brought me in for surgery. So I'm pretty pleased about that. All things considered, I'm pretty satisfied. I'm pretty thankful for the life I have and what I have going for me, and you know everything like that. Things could be better. Obviously, I could. More money would be nice, but I'm working on increasing my income slightly, an extra $200 a month, which is something. And then I'm pretty much dug into the same lifestyle until I get a casual job, which will increase my monthly income a little bit more. Um, my health is pretty good. It could be better, obviously, right? If I wasn't so overweight and out of shape, if I was ripped with abs and a lighter body weight and hitting certain milestones with, powerlifting, um, I'd be much happier, right? Much happier. Um, Appearance wise, obviously, if I wasn't so overweight and I was in better shape, I'd look a lot better. But all things considered, I'm quite content with my life. Um, I wish I had a girlfriend, right? Pretty much every guy does. Like, I've known incels, and, who had never had a girlfriend, and I'm always like, do they just not want a girlfriend? Are they, do they have low tests? Do they just not get sexual urges? And, I'll have an admiration for them because I'll be like, man, they're above those things. And then I hear from one of their friends how they jack off to fucking porn every day for hours, and I'm like, that's pathetic. Why don't they just get a fucking girlfriend? But the thing is, a lot of those incels, they don't want to settle for some fat, ugly person. They want somebody who's out of the league. And I've seen that online. It says a lot of these incels, they'll admit, I could get somebody on my own level, but I'd rather just jerk off to porn, right? Unless I can get some pretty girl, right? And a lot of these incels, they won't improve themselves. They won't make any effort to better themselves in any way. Um, so, yeah, but I don't want to ramble on about incels because incels are a really miserable, helpless, hopeless lot. So I'm not going to go on about them. The incels I've known are just hopeless and helpless. Nothing you could do to help them. But yeah, boyos, almost 20 minutes, so I'll cut the video off. I'm going for a walk here in about an hour again, and yeah, I'll see you guys on the MISC.